Are we on? Yeah, we're on. Sorry about that, guys. It's your boy Dollar, aka Rich Taylor, bringing you another By the Dip. Here we go. This is episode number 11. It's actually like episode 14, but there was a couple of them that I didn't upload. So, but and that's my fault because I had just started doing content and stuff, and I forgot to when I was doing it, I forgot to hit the live stream or the go live button. I'm an idiot in 2021. So yeah, so this is Spec Media YouTube channel, Comic Book Market Watch by the Dip, episode number 11. Happy Monday to everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Double click that notification bell to all so you don't miss any content forthwith. We're doing cards, we're doing comics, we're doing TCG. We're going to be doing a lot of other stuff too, probably some fantasy sports, and actually play the game of Pokemon, which we're going to be doing. But leave us right now. We'll just stick to comics and tonight, and leave us a comment if you're watching the rewind and or live stream, and make sure when you're shipping comics, use Gemini Comic Supply. Use the code popcorn99 for 10% off your next purchase. There's also a bonus code SSP, like Super Short Print 99. You'll get an additional 10% off. So without further ado, let's bring in my guy, my co-host, Aaron Yeezy Yee. What's up, Aaron?
Chilling, man. Just opened my last two series 1 hangers right before we jumped on. So I'm not opening any more series 1 for the rest of the year. I'll probably buy what I like to do is I like to keep a hobby box of series 1 ever since I started collecting again. So I'll probably buy a hobby box and just hold it. Like I have a 21, 22, 23 box above me where I just kind of store boxes. I don't know.
Oh, that's cool. It's not the worst idea. I actually went on the Topps website, and I was actually trying to reverse engineer the print run for 2024, and then I went into 2023 series 1 and 2 and compared them to, because Stadium Club 2023 just came out. I think that's like the last release, and I wanted to see like print runs and stuff like that. And this series 2024 is printed heavily, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. So
it's not as much as last year.
Right. Last year was more. So
like last year was like, I think what each base card has like 1.3 million cards or something like that to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this year it's like 900,000 per base card.
So it's the way I did it is I found because they have the checklist and then they have the odds. I found the most the 101, the most the longest odds 101, and then I reverse engineered it that way. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I like the way that Striker he breaks it down. I think he has a formula that he does every
it's
year.
Basically the same. It's the same way.
Yeah.
That's actually where I learned it.
Yeah. Like he does it really good, and so does Scotty B.
Scotty B. Yeah, we follow each other on IG. Shout out to Scotty B Cards. I love that guy. Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah. But anyways, let's get into the show because I know it's late for a lot of you guys. As you guys know, we like to hit the chat first. Righteous Flipper, what up, man? Yeah, I love the Wendigo Hulk 162. I actually had a Mark Jewelers, and I sold it for like $400 on Mercari, and I wish I never did. Funhouse says, yo, holding it down with the wrench. Thank you. Righteous, I think I tried to give you a wrench today. I tried to give Aaron Yee a wrench too, but I just couldn't find your guys' name, so get at me. I was trying to give Jeffrey Drake one, Dad Life Comics one, but I couldn't find them. So Funhouse says, am I solo? No, I'm not. Thank you. Aaron's my brother from another mother. He's my co-captain. He's holding it down in the chat. Funhouse, thank you. Says hit that like, and then he goes on, and Jersey the Base says throws up the horns twice with a little bit of Wi-Fi. Funhouse continues and says, "You need a wingman, Richie. Let's just hang out." Next time, not on By the Dip, but maybe a card show or something. We'll figure something out. Okay, brother. Mojo Quid, what up, man? I tried to give you a wrench today too, but did you change your name recently? Because when I put in Mojo_Quid, it doesn't come up anymore, and it used to. So I remember.
Oh, how about this?
Reef, what up?
They should message the Spec Media Instagram your email account or your YouTube email accounts so we can add it that way.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That might be a route to try, or message me too as well. I can try it too. We can figure it out. So
yeah, I was on the back end like half the day, and then I had to work, do some stuff for my licenses. I'm actually studying. I have to retake the test. It's a long story. But and then I was listing stuff all day. I had to ship a bunch of stuff today, and I was pressing books. My buddy, I'm doing like a 60. I think he sent me like 65 books, and we're on like 30. I think he has 10 there, 11 there right now. This one's gonna have 20, and then I'm putting 5, so it's 25 books. And I'm on the last 3 books, and they're all Uncanny X-Men Burn Claremont run, so they're a pain in the ass. And the thing with those is they're all in pretty decent shape. Not all of them, but a lot of them are pretty decent shape. So I have to make sure that if I press them good, and I think they're going to be a 9.8, I don't want to pay the lower tier and get screwed on the grade, and then also I don't want to pay the higher tier and then overpay.
Oh, and then with a mid grade or whatever.
Right. So
Yeah.
what up, Reef, man? Thank you. He says, what up? I haven't seen you. I only see you on Hot 10. Thank you for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. I know you've been here a couple times, but I really appreciate you. Dad Life, what up, man? Try to give you a wrench today. Get at me on IG. I'll hook you up. What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great night. Mojo saying 2024 Topps retail fat packs have been the best. I hit an Ellie rookie card out of 999, so I'm guessing that's the blue shimmer or glitter.
Blue snow?
Something
Blue
like
ice?
that. That's a nice
What's it called?
card.
Yeah, that's a cool. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
out of all the, that's better odds than me. I have yet to pull anything LE numbered anything really, just as base cards. So
What's up, Adam? Okay, we'll get to the rest of the chat later. Let's get going. All right. So as you guys know, you know how we do it. We're going to talk about the House of Stein original Hot 10 shows last Friday's By the Dip list. We're going to cover that. Aaron's going to do us that favor. The first book on the list. Ben wasn't there last Friday, but he'll likely be there this Friday. He's being a good dad and a good husband. He's a good guy and a good friend, and a really good list writer. And he wrote some really interesting books we're going to talk about. So this is the Marvel Value Stamp. This is number 1A, and this is actually I'm not sure if this is 1A or 1B because I know this is the variant, and I'm not sure if that's like 1C. This might be 1B, but anyways, it was full of all the stamps, 16 pages from 1975. It's not the variant red cover. What's going on with this one, Aaron? Why did it make the By the Dip list, and what's it selling for?
So this Marvel Value Stamp book included all the stamps in it, and it sold for $250. So shout out to the other bin. This was from Mr. Longshort. So
that's right. It was from Longshort. You're right.
And then it was completely insane to like see it sell for that little, right?
Right.
Because I guess doing enough or sitting on enough panels with McClay, we saw multiple complete value stamp books resell for what it was like in the thousands or something like that.
Oh,
it was something it was something insane. So I mean, there's a reason why Stein put it back on, or put it on the By the Dip list.
Yeah. And I think this is an interesting buy. I definitely niche collecting, right?
Right.
Probably not the most sought after book, but when you realize what you could do with it with these stickers and the information in it, I think a lot of people could be jumping on this. And this is down drastically. What'd you say it was selling for now?
It recently sold for $250.
And what was it before?
I I don't remember the
I
exact
think
price.
it was like over $1,000. It was like
Yeah,
1,100 or something like that, right?
yeah, it was something. Yeah, because it wasn't just one. It was like a couple of them, but they weren't like oh, it happened this week and then it happened the next week. It's like one and then another one like a month later or something like that.
Interesting. Here's the variant I was talking about. I like this cover actually more. It's probably really tough. If you, I don't know if you can
Well,
get these graded or not,
especially with all the red in
with
that.
all that red, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the Marvel Value Stamp book full of stamps. Let's go on to the next.
Oh, real quick. So if you
Yes.
graded it without the stamps, would it get a green label?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm just joking. I was just joking around. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next. We have the Xcalibur 2019 series. This is number 18, the Dodderman 1 in 25. This was a big, big book. What was this selling at and what's it selling for? What's going on with this, Aaron? What does Ben have to say as well?
So this is a Russell Dodderman 1 in 25 variant and a CBCS 9.8 sold for $150. So big shout out to all the users that are active in the Beyond Wednesday Discord because they brought it up on as a conversation point. Like, okay, yes, you're pointing out that a CBCS 9.8 sold for $150, but then a raw one recently sold for like $600, like right after that CBCS 9.8. So I
Yeah, I
mean,
was I when I was double checking everything, not to interrupt you, but I went back and looked at this book and I was like, oh my God. And there's other CBCS 9.8s that they're like $600-700. I couldn't believe it.
yeah, so it's probably someone that put an auction up for $1 or something like that, I would
And it was a
assume.
9.6, by the way.
Oh, it was a 9.6?
It was a 9.6.
So it wasn't a 9.8 that sold for 150.
No, it was a 9.8 that sold for 100. I saw. I'm pretty sure it was a 9. I mean, I'm almost positive. I double checked it, and it was a 9.8. I couldn't believe it. I was gonna put the screenshot on there, but it was a CBCS 9.8, and it sold for $150. Yeah, I saw that
Wow.
today.
Okay.
So good
Yeah.
eye by Ben.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for us to update prices in real time whenever we create whenever Ben's writing these lists, uh if it's something that someone points out, it just happened. So I mean, there is the counted sale of a
There's the
CBCS
one that
98.
sold. This is the one that sold right here. So that's a CBCS 9.8 Excalibur 18 1 in 25
Yeah.
CBCS. All right,
What's up,
this is the next
third?
book. This is ASM Amazing Spider-Man number 569. This is the open to order at Granoff classic cover art. I wouldn't say iconic, but this is your first. What is this? Anti-Venom or Agent Venom? Anti-Venom. First
Anti-Venom.
Anti-Venom. This is a CGC 9.8. What is going on with this book? What does Ben have to say and what's it selling for?
So he accounted for a CBCS 9.8 sold for $80. That's been the lowest price since 2015. You're muted.
What's up, Tony? What's up, first? Sorry if I missed you, Eric. Everybody. It's just there's a lot of people in the chat, and I appreciate that. We just wanted to make sure we get going. What'd you say it was selling for now, Aaron? $80 for a CGC 9.8.
CBCS 9.8. It sold for
CBC.
80.
You mean
Yeah.
a not CGC 9.8?
like CGC 9.8.
Like CGC 9.8. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next. All right, so we have Spider-Gwen number 1 from the first series. This is the 4-color exclusive. This is a very hard
Four-color
book.
girls.
4-color grails exclusive. This is a very tough book for an exclusive. You know me, I'm not one for store variants or that. I do like convention exclusives, especially if it's a reputable retailer or a friend of ours, and it's a really good cover. But those are few and far between. What's going on
Yeah,
with this book? And we just found out that this book was so rare. I mean, I didn't even realize it. What's happening with this one, and what did Ben have to say?
dude, I had no idea it was so rare. So a CGC 98 sold for $100. It peaked at $600, and then the $100 price is the lowest since 2018. I actually do have a raw copy of this book. I didn't know how rare it was. It was just like one of those. I was hunting for Spider Gwen books, and
Hmm.
just seeing how many issue ones I could find out in the wild. I found it in a
Right.
back issue bin somewhere. Or I might have even found that at a con. I can't remember. It's been too. No, I remember what store I picked it up from. It was a store in Dallas. But yeah, I had never seen it before, so I was like, kind of like, oh, the price is attractive. I'm gonna buy it. So
Nice, nice, nice,
yeah,
nice, nice.
I might
Very
have to
cool.
consider
Very
grading
cool.
it now at this point. Then
Now, you said this is a CGC 98, correct?
yes, a CGC 98 did sell for 100.
Wow.
Yeah, lowest since 2018. Crazy.
All right, this is the last book. This was number one. This is Marvel Premiere number 15. Specifically, I actually saw a bunch of low sales. I commented on Friday, but this is specifically a CGC 94. This is the actual slab that actually sold. You got the old label premium. So if there's not any color breaks, you got CPR. You call Joe to the rescue. What's going on here? What does Ben have to say? And what's it selling for now, Aaron?
So a CGC 94 sold for $450. Only 3 lower sales since 2014.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, I saw some higher mid grade copies. They didn't have grades on them, but they presented really well. I could totally tell I could work on them. I was guessing probably between like 7.5 and 8.5 raw, $71. I saw one for $83. I saw one for $64. So, and that caught my attention. And then Ben found he went and reviewed all the grades like we do, and he found this grade was actually down. So, this might be a good investment here. I love Iron Fist. You got first appearance, origin, first cover appearance of Danny Rand Iron Fist. There's also some other stuff going on too. Really cool book, iconic key issue. But here we go. Iconic key issue.
Yeah. So if you're buying raw though, make sure you're checking for stamp for the
Right.
Marvel value stamp.
There is a Marvel value stamp. I don't remember what number it is, but yes, good info, Aaron. Thank you very much.
Yeah. But
All right,
and the side note, that's how I found my mug jewelers. Was I was checking the stamp.
okay. We're gonna get back into the list. We have a good one tonight. I worked really hard on this. Me and Aaron worked our ass off on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the chat before we get into that, though. Tony Fix says this is Blue Green Artifacts. He says I like store variants if they have fire cover and have dried up. Good point. Good point. I'm on the same level in the sense that we're looking for scarcity. Good point.
I'm
Ronnie
always
says,
scared
"What's up,
of.
boys?" What'd you
I'm
say?
always scared of warehouse finds. So
Ronnie, what up, Ronnie? He says, "What's up, boys? Thank you very much. Haven't seen that Ghost Spider. That's actually Spider Gwen before Ghost Spider, but yeah, I get you. The 4-color grill exclusive. Adam, what up, man? He says, "What's up, Ronnie? How's Rascal? That's Rascal is Ronnie's dog. He's had some health issues. Hope he's doing better." Blind Adam goes on and says, "What I need is a big-breasted blonde and an ice cream cake. Hey Siri, your camera at a hotel room. I'll show you some spider ghost action." Oh my gosh. So if you guys aren't aware, this is Adam. We call him Blind Adam. He has a show called Awesome Sauce Radio. He talks about comics, pop culture, and also porn. He does a lot of porn stuff. He interviews porn stars, so on and so forth. And
I've been on this show, and
plus he's a good dude. So
there were 2 porn stars on that episode.
Spidey Hunter says, Dalla and Yeezy, what's cracking, fellas? What up, Spidey? Thank you for coming. Ferdy, thank you very much. Hold it. Ferdy, you should be having a wrench. Holding it down with the wrench. Ronnie, appreciate that, man. Tony Fix, Blue Green Artifact says, are they recasting Pyro Man Iron Fist? Those are the only Netflix names I haven't heard come back. That's a good question. Since the writer's strike, I have no idea. Ferdy goes on, says, awesome list, dudes. And then Dad Life says, hell yeah, let's go. Marvel Man, what up, man? He says, yay, what's up, man? Ronnie says, porn star, question mark? And Jeffrey Drake, hello all.
Check out Awesome Sauce Radio. He frequently has porn stars on his shows. So
Blue Green Artifact says
it's a
two
thing, I
girls,
guess.
one Yee. That that's an homage or a callback to the iconic Two Girls in One Cup, where two girls get it on, and a cup full of probably fake shit, but yeah, it looks pretty real and disgusting. And Awesome Sauce says there's also a Soda Durant, her mother premier assist him. And then Universe X says, what up, Dalla? What up? Yeah, what up, Universe? Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. All right, let's get into this. Number 5 here. I searched high and low. Here we go. Aaron gave me some books. We looked at numbers. We threw numbers down. We threw them away. We went over here. We went over there. Let me know. I want honest opinions. Constructive criticism is welcome. Feedback. Appreciate the support. Here we go. Number 5. We have X23, number 1. This is the Delato incentive. This is not the store exclusive. This is actually the 1 in 25. This is actually by Gabe Delato. We're looking at a CGC 98 from the 2010 series. I believe that's the second series. Definitely iconic, modern age holy grail. Sales FMV, this book was going for between October of 2022 to September of 2023. So after the pandemic, an average FMV for this book on 4 sales is $1,867. Go and find out. We are down 21.6%. I'm sorry, 21.6% on the fair market value, aka FMV. 2 sales only, one around between Veterans Day and Thanksgiving of 2023, and then there was a recent sale in January of this year. We're looking at a low sale of $1,325 with an average FMV on these 2 sales of $1,463. That's down 21.6%. What do you think about that, Aaron?
Oh man, how low can it go? It's so I mean, like on a book like this where it historically hits around the 18 to 2K mark, what is your floor price to buy in on something like this? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, I was looking at the numbers. I haven't really been interested in this book until I think it was 2018. I went to a brick and mortar and I found the Unknown Comics, the Virgin, and it was like $10, and my eyes were deceiving me because I thought at first I found the actual 1 in 25.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it's the same art, just
I
without
didn't.
the yeah.
It was a shop I never go to. It was out of my area. Long story short, I didn't want to say anything, and I was so excited. And then when I got to eBay, I looked and I was like, "Holy shit, this isn't a Virgin! Oh man, I bought the wrong one." And
I mean,
yeah,
for $10, I mean that's a good like art appreciation book, But I mean, like that $1,300 price tag, that is kind of attractive, to be completely honest, compared to 2K.
yeah, that's what I was saying. So to go back into it, when I was looking at the numbers, this is what I do, guys. When I'm looking at data, I use the 130 point, I use cover price. Shout out to coverprice.com. Awesome. And then, I look at eBay confirmed sales. What I do is that I try to look before the pandemic, and then that April, May 2020, not March, but April, May, when everybody's getting the unemployment money, all the way through the middle of like 2022. Okay. And then I look after, and I try to remove that middle part where the pandemic is and put those two together to create an index.
Oh,
And then,
okay. Just to see if it's up
right.
or down from pre-pandemic prices, basically.
Correct. And the thing is that, you know, a lot of people aren't spending money on comics right now, and or some of these are so rare or expensive that there's just not a lot of comps on some of these. So you gotta sometimes go, at least for what we do, sometimes you have to reach into the bag and go back into 2022, like the beginning to mid 2022. If there's no sales, there's no sales. But you know, and then all of a sudden there's two recent sales, you know, and it's down. So yeah, that's what I try to do. I try to remove that whole pandemic middle on most of them. Sometimes you can't get away from it, but I try to, and then I try to put the average FMV for before the pandemic and then after the pandemic, and then create my index. So I think this 1325 is actually a good buy. I think with everything going on with Deadpool 3, if Daphne Keene shows up at X23 or what have you, you know, NYX3 is obviously going
Oh,
to be at
yeah.
first on everybody's list. But I think that when it comes down to deep pockets and variants, I think that this one will actually probably start ascending. So,
Yeah.
but
Easily.
Ferdy thinks it could get down to 1,000. That you know, kudos. Ferdy is in finance just like me. We're both numbers guys, so I respect that. But personally, I think $1,300 is probably the floor, but I could be wrong. We'll see. We'll see. Unless an
Oh,
auction ends on a weekday or something, that's one thing. But I'm talking about auctions that end usually on the week. You know, everything's done. All the ducks are in the row, so to speak. So, anyways,
or is he
go ahead.
saying his buy-in is at 1,000? Sorry.
Maybe his buy-in is at 1,000. Okay, thank you. Yeah, good call. Good call, Aaron. Good call. Good call. All right, let's move on to number 4. I couldn't believe this. This is Hulk #1, the Red Hulk series. This is from 2008. This is your Hero Initiative Atomic Comics exclusive variant. 5,000, supposedly 5,000 printed and in circulation. This is raw copies, not graded, but raw copies. We're looking at very fine to near mint raw copies from December 2022. So we'll say almost January 2023. So the beginning of 2023. So after the pandemic, throughout the beginning of summer of 2023, this book had an average fair market value on 3 sales of $158. Okay. Now we're looking at a sale, not a lot of sales, but a sale that just went on February 1st, $76, down 52%. What do you think about this, Aaron?
I'm glad I sold my copy when I did. I had a CBCS 98, and then I've been like, it's been going up and down, and like after a while, I just got kind of sick of the book. But then, like when the what's his name, Harrison Ford rumors started occurring again, I was like, kind of like, all right, I gotta sell on this hype, and
Right.
so I think I started the it was a CBCS 98. I started the auction at $1, and then
Right.
let it run for a week, and then I got way over than what I paid for it because I bought this from a I think I got this from a mystery box or some shit like that.
Whoa, really? Which mystery
Yeah,
box, if you don't mind? I mean, you don't have
it
to
was
say the retailer, but I mean, do you
it
know what was the buy-in for the mystery box?
the buy-in for the mystery box. I wanted to say was like it was either $150 or $200. I can't remember. It was so long ago, and it wasn't from a specific retailer. It was just like someone selling mystery boxes on a Facebook group.
Okay. Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, yeah. But is this the one? Is this the cover to have the atomic one, or yeah, the Hero Initiative variant, or is it the 1 in 50 without that logo?
Personally, I'd rather have the 1 in 50
Hmm.
because I don't like, you know, but if you do the math, I don't know what Comicron has this book at, but I'm willing to bet because I wasn't collecting comics in 2000. I was collecting comics in the 90s into Y2K, and then I stopped. I wasn't collecting comics in 2008, so I'm willing to bet that this was a pretty heavily printed book. I'm not gonna say like 100, 150,000, but
I
if
want to say the
80,
census. Yeah, I want to say the census numbers are pretty close.
Okay, the 1 in 50 in atomic. Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
want to guess. I don't want to throw some numbers out there and blah blah blah. I'd like to be more accurate. If you guys do want to know, maybe but we'll get back to you on the next show or on post on our IG. But personally, I'd rather have the 1 in 50. But if I could figure out the math, if I had the numbers in front of me, then I would probably let you know. So, all right,
Yeah, I can look up the census real quick while we talk about the next one.
all right. This is number 3. Fantastic Four, number 6, Volume 1 from 1962. This is the CGC 4.0 down. Now, just so you know, this is the second appearance of Doctor Doom. Also, your first Marvel villain team up of Doctor Super villain team up of Doctor Doom and Namor in the Silver Age. 7 sales between around Labor Day of 2022 all the way through around Easter of last year. 7 sales, not 10. 7 sales. We have an average fair market value of $1,277. Here we go for what it's down to. We have 6 comps from August of 2023 throughout this month of 2024. We're looking at a 6 comps, an average fair market value of $734. That's down 42%. And with Namor, already got messed up in the MCU, hopefully they rectify that. But we all know Doom's coming. And like I've said before multiple times, I don't care about Mr. Fantastic. I don't care about Human Torch. I don't care about Thing. I do like I do like Human Torch. I don't like Thing. I don't like Mr. Fantastic. I don't like Invisible Woman, but I do like their adversaries, Doctor Doom, Galactus, Annihilus. Shit, there was I could go down Mole Man. I mean, I could just go down the list. They have about 10 solid ones, but that's what we want to see. And I think Doctor Doom first appearance, unless you can get a 0.5 or a 1.8 raw or something like that, it's unattainable for most of us. I think this second appearance book, and you also get the first Marvel supervillain team up of Namor and Doctor Doom. I think this is a good investment, and I don't see this book dropping any further, but I could be wrong. I think this might be the floor, and I think this is a good buy. What do you think, Aaron?
I mean, yeah, second appearances have always historically never been as high as first appearances and are nowhere even in the near same ballpark, right? But I mean, you're also talking about like old, like you're talking about Silver Age, Fantastic Four,
Right.
like the first 10 issues, right? So like I think for whatever reason, those are always going to be highly sought after books, kind of
Yeah,
like the first like six first first 6 Hulk books. Just take any run really, right?
absolutely.
Especially in the Silver Age. So I mean, I could definitely see the potential in this, and like yeah, like you're saying that if it, that this is more approachable for a lot of people, like especially if they're just like starting to collect vintage. You can build on to it like when a book is like down this much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a good buy. Don't get me wrong. Like I said before, I don't know if this is the floor, but I would buy in at 734. I'm a big believer in Doom. If it presents well and we get a 4.0, I can see this book moving. I think if the MCU and Feige do bring Doom, which I believe they will, they'll do it right, and I believe that that will make this book bump again. But that's just my opinion. You guys do what you will.
Okay, real quick. So I looked up the census numbers. For whatever reason, there's 2 different Hero Initiative editions. One said on the census, one says just Hero Initiative edition, and the other one says Hero Initiative / Atomic Comics edition, which I believe are the same version.
It's the
But
same
it
thing. That's what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like.
It
Yeah.
yeah. So anyways, they're counting on the census twice for whatever reason. So there's 127 of
Hmm.
just the
Interesting.
Hero Initiative, and then there's 689 total of the Hero Initiative / Atomic Comics edition, which is the same thing. But anyways, Blue Labels, there's 310 311 on both. But on the McGinnis, there's only 227 graded.
How many did you say were graded on the Atomic, the Hero Initiative?
689 plus 127. So about what?
I mean,
what
that's
is that?
not that high, but it's still that's a lot higher than the 1 in 50.
What's
So
this?
I guess we'd probably rather go
Yeah.
with the 1 in 50, right?
Oh yeah,
Especially
easily.
in high grade. So
Yeah.
great info. Thank you, Aaron. Let's get into number 2. Incredible Hulk number 180. We're looking specifically at a CGC 80. First appearance of Wolverine in cameo. Now, I put old label premium. I mean, this is the old label premium. I mean, that book is beautiful. It does have like a what you call it, not a dog ear, but it's got a rough right corner. But other than that, though, probably might be able to get an 8.5, but chances are it didn't get pressed. We're looking at 2, 4, 6 comps I found. I based this on the beginning of summer of last year, all the way through around Labor Day of last year. We're looking at a fair market value average of a CGC 80 for Incredible Hulk 180 of $1,203.01. This is your first appearance of Wolverine. What do you think about this, Aaron, before I get into what it's sold? Why it's down?
I like this book personally. I do want a copy. My brother has one. He bought it raw and then graded it himself. I want to say it's around this grade. Like it's either a 7.5 or 8.0. I know that. He did get it pressed. It's no signatures or anything like that. It does have the stamp. So yeah, I personally like this book. I get why people gravitate towards 181, but I mean, if you're a true Wolverine fan, you're gonna have both anyways.
Right.
Hell, you're gonna have 182 as well.
Right. This is I don't want to get into the first versus second and the cameo versus
yeah,
full. It is what it is.
But yeah, I mean, if you're a true Wolverine fan, right? Aren't you gonna own all
you
three?
gotta have them. I think you gotta this way. If you're like a true Wolverine key collector, no,
you're gonna have Foom 6.
No pun intended, Nick.
You're gonna have Foom 6. You're gonna have the Hulk Trinity.
No, I think you're gonna have 180 if you can afford it. Some kind of grade, I don't care what it is, of 181. You're gonna have giant size. You're gonna have 182. You're gonna have X-Men 94. You're gonna have
Wolverine 1.
Wolverine 1 in the miniseries, and then Wolverine Patch, the 88 series. You're also gonna that Tony fixes in the chat. I forgot what number issue number. He'll know right away. You probably know, Aaron, where it's a really good solo. I think it might even be the first solo story of Wolverine in the Uncanny X-Men. I forgot what number it is. Talks about like adamantium.
It's like 120. It's like 129 or 130, right?
Blue Green knows. I can't remember. I thought it was a little bit
where
higher,
he goes berserk.
He goes berserk, correct? And on top of that, you also got, in my opinion, you also got to have for Wolverine some modern comics too. He's had a lot of really cool variants. I think you need to have Old Man Logan stuff. We could go on and on and on, but yeah, you got to have 180, 181, 182. You got to have giant
133.
size. 133. You got to have giant size. You got to have X-Men 94. You got to have Uncanny 133. You got to have Wolverine 1 in the miniseries, Frank Miller. You got to have the 1988 Wolverine with Patch. And you're probably going to have to get number 10 too. And you're also going to have to get Uncanny X-Men 212 and 213 because he fights his brother. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But yeah, so let's get into what this book is down on and why it caught my attention. So now we have 2 comps recently for the 8.0 on in January of this year, the middle of January of this year, sold for $985. And just a couple days ago, the same grade, same slab sold for $785. Now, current FMV $885. This book is down 26.4%. And we're just like a week or two out of the Super Bowl and all this excitement with Deadpool 3. I mean, we are basically, I know Marvel Studios and a bunch of comic people that are upset at phase 4 and 5 are banking on this Deadpool 3. So I don't even understand how this book is dropping in value at this grade, but it is down 26.4%. What do you think about this, Aaron?
No, man. Yeah, like usually with all this kind of hype on stuff, like things tend to jump up in price. Like I sold a 9.6 New Mutants 98 at a comfortable price I was willing to sell at. So it just kind of confuses me. But thanks, High Voltage Mark. Maybe I can buy my brother's copy.
Yeah, I think this is a good buy-in. I'll be honest with you, if I can afford an 8.0, especially if it has an old slab and I can work on it, but if I can afford an 8.0, so if I'm going to spend between $800 and $900, I don't know if I want to gamble and wait because of everything that's happening and all the news that's coming with Deadpool 3. I just don't know if I want to wait. So I think pulling the trigger might not be the worst idea. But you guys do what you want.
But I mean, at the same time, like what books historically, it's always hard to tell, right? That like most books, first appearances are going to go down after the movie releases. But
Correct.
then you're a lot of times that's like modern books, right? Like, and when I say modern, I mean anything like 1990 or later.
Right. Yeah.
Something in the copper age, like in 70, was it 74, right? Um
74.
when Hulk 180 came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
174.
1970,
In the Bronze Age.
1974.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like in the Bronze Age era, like it's harder to tell if books are really, I mean, books are affected by movie markets, right? It'll
Yeah.
go up, but then it usually like retains around that price. It kind of maintains that, even though there's a lot out there.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Righteous Flipper says, "Old is gold. Old is gold. New comics are for speculation." Brian Adams says, "Uncanny X-Men 133. One of these days, I need to tell you a story of how I got this book in an Awesome Sauce Radio, but it's the first solo Wolverine. He destroys Hellfire Club." Yes, thank you, appreciate you, brother. All right, last book of the night, and then we're gonna say toodaloo until next time. Here we go. Our number one book on Buy the Dip, episode number 11. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate the support. Me and Aaron have a lot of things planned for the channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs as fast as we can so we can go ahead and open everything up to you guys. But let's get into the number one book of Buy the Dip, episode 11. We have Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, number 9. This is the direct edition. We're looking at a CGC 9.8. Now, in case you are not aware, this is from the 2006 series. This is your first full Darth Revan, okay? Our first Darth Revan in full. From March of 2022, it just wasn't, a lot of sales in there was a gap in between, but March of 2022, so the end of the pandemic, to October of 2022, basically, pandemic is done, or at least the pandemic prices were starting to, they're peaking. So we aren't descending yet, but they're peaking. 2023 is when you start descending. We have a fair market value on 2468 10 sales of $930 for first Darth Revan in a CGC 9.8. Now we're looking at 4 comps from October of last year throughout Christmas into January of this year, down 39% current fair market value is at $564, and I went even further, and I'm telling you, this is where it's at. And we just had a low sale just right around Thanksgiving of $425. There's not really any sales recently. But yeah, I mean, this book is rapidly descending, and I like this character. I've heard some stuff. I don't know a lot about Star Wars compared to a lot of people, but what do you think about this, Aaron? And it is 564 from 930. And by the way, I took the pandemic complete. I took 2020 and 21 out. I took 2019. I was going to share my screen to show you, but we're kind of in a rush. This book was way over $1,000 before the pandemic. Okay,
yeah.
it was way over $1,000. It was like 1,200, 1,300 CGC 9A or whatever. Okay. Now we're looking at, you can get a CGC 9.8. You have a low around November of last year, but you could probably talk to a Ben or buy it now and get it for between $550 and $600. Current FMV 564, down 39%. What do you think about this, Aaron? And is this something that you would probably pull the trigger for if you had the money?
So Star Wars things always has a couple things for it, right? Going for it. I mean, this is Star Wars Dark Horse. That's always a plus. That's gonna be tough to find the high grade. You know, you're talking about lower print runs than like what Marvel's doing. Um, but then on the other hand, you have Star Wars, right? Are people enjoying what the direction of Star Wars is going? Like, I would say it's a mixed bag, right? You're getting a lot new people into Star Wars that had never seen it, never cared about it. You know, people love Grogu, all that, you know.
Right.
But then at the
Mandalorian
same
movies coming out as well.
right. But then at the same time, you're losing the fan base that built Star Wars to where it is now, too, on top of that. So
Correct.
like I think there's some sort of balance to that, you know, like all those movies say. Like there has to be some sort of balance to it. Because otherwise, you know, what are we doing here? Like, you know, but and then over all of this there's those absolute diehard Star Wars fans that, you know, once they buy something, it stays in their collection forever. So if you have ever wanted this book, you know, I would start considering, you know, start to look at these books and start watching them to see if you can catch like a deal like where it's like 425, where it's below the, you know, what the current fair market value is for the last like what so when you do this 564, are you doing the like the last 90 days or something like that? Is that where about the time period that you're using, or is
I'm just
it
going off the most recent sales. Those are the most
okay, like the
recent
last like
sales.
whatever
And
sales are? Okay.
right. In a CGC 9.8. Hang on one second. Let me see here. Let me see if I can pull this up. All right. There it is. Give me
But
one
shout out to
second.
Cover Price. I recognize that text.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's see here.
Oh,
Um.
I should talk to DeVoe to see if we can get a code over here too.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. So somebody in the chat is saying that before the pandemic, this book was 300. No, you're wrong. So 2020, all through 2020, I'm sorry, my bad. All through 2020, through the pandemic, you're right. I didn't mean to say before. I meant at the beginning, at the pandemic, because of all the Star Wars stuff. He's right. It was a $2,500 book all the way through 2020. Now, all the way through 2021, like Eric says, we removed that 2020 and 2021 because it's high sales around 1524. Another high sale, 1899. Now we remove it. We go into 2022. We're at still $1,000. Now it's dropping back down to $425. Now the pandemic is done. The pandemic is peaking at the mid to end of 2022. This book is still a $900 to $1,000 book. October of 2023 into November of 2023, this book is selling for $700 to $775 and now is down to $425. So yeah, good point. I misspoke on when I said before the pandemic, because I always think pandemic is 2021, but yeah, you're right, 2020. But this book at one time during the pandemic was 2,500. We take out that 2020 and the 2021, and we just do mid 2022 all through 2023, and this book is still between $700 to $1,000, and now is down a low sale 425 and an FMV of, what do I got there? 564. Now, the reason why I also brought up this book is that there was some recent news with Darth Revan. I don't remember exactly, but it was somehow tied to Ahsoka or something like that, and or what have you. And then, but it was during the writer's strike, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, at least that's what I do. I personally like this character. I think that this right now is probably a pretty decent buy, especially if he ends up becoming, coming back to live or showing up in live action with the Disney Plus stuff and everything that's coming up. But yeah, I mean, I don't really want to sit around and wait for this book to be $85 because I think those $85 to $100 days, Wilbur, are gone for this book. I honestly believe that. I don't think this book will ever be 85 or 100 again unless there's some kind of outlier. But I could be completely wrong, But yeah, I mean, this character is now pretty well known in the community and comic speculators alike. I like this one as number one. What's your opinion about this, Aaron?
Oh man, and then people love the the stories from the Knights of the Old Republic. Like, I mean, how many people do you still hear still play the game? Like the old RPG game that came out how many
Right.
years ago now at this point? So, I mean, it definitely has a cult following. And then personally, like as a big Star Wars fan, like I'm kind of tired of the whole like Skywalker story or anything that like loosely relates to Skywalker. Like I just don't care anymore. Like, you
Oh no,
know,
I personally for me, I as bad as the MCU live action has been, the animation's been good, the what if's been really good.
mhm.
But I'm looking forward to all the Star Wars stuff. I think I believe in a lot of the especially the Dark Horse
Well,
stuff. But
well,
I believe in all the Star Wars stuff. I think it's going
yeah.
to, come back versus all the MCU source
Well,
material.
well, I mean, like, I like what they're doing. Like, I like the Star Wars Vision stuff. Where they're going into other cultures to tell this like similar tales of Star Wars, but using like Japanese animation to tell it. I've been really, yeah. See, Jeffrey Drake, he was playing Knights of the Old Republic yesterday. And then I mean it's to the point now where you can even play that game on like your iPad, like if you
Right.
have like it's in the Apple store. So I mean, even though it's not the original format of the game, there's still ways to play it or emulate it. So
Correct.
yeah.
Correct. Did you have any pickups, Aaron? You wanted to share?
Comic pickups. Let me see if I have
Comic
anything
or
that
cards or whatever you want. We
I
got
can't.
we got comics and card people in the chat. So
I mean, I showed that 42 card submission yesterday. I guess I can show this. I don't know if I showed this. Did I show this on the channel? I pulled this the
so
other
we
day.
were backstage. I wish I had that clip. I would play it for everybody right now. But we were
Yeah.
backstage and Aaron had a couple Monopoly blasters and we were talking shit on retail and stuff like that. And the second one he opened, boom, he pulled a purple wave Wembyama,
Oh, but
like $100 to $110 card. Raw.
yeah.
Nice.
It's actually up in price now. It's like 150 to 100 and something. But I have mine listed on eBay way cheaper than that. So, if
Okay.
yeah, but
That's
I mean,
awesome.
like, yeah, to be completely transparent, but yeah, like I did pull it. Brian did clip it, so I'm sure he's gonna do something with it. But I decided to give the 30 people watching tonight a sneak peek of our reaction to that. So and so you can see the sequence too of what the pack is.
You guys, I want you guys to know something. We are gonna do a giveaway for the because we crushed 800, or I think we're at like 810 or 811. Thank you guys. I really appreciate the support. Aaron as well appreciates it. We've been working hard. We want to open up the idea book, but we want to wait until we're monetary to do it. So if you guys can just share this content, if you do like the content, you don't have to do it, but I'd really appreciate it if you could share it and maybe refer some subs to us. And that would be awesome. I'll try to pay it forward and give it back the best I can. I know a lot of you guys DM me and I don't respond. It's nothing personal. I'm just really busy right now. I'm doing like 10 things at once, studying for another exam. I'm freaking doing continuing education. I'm doing it late for multiple states for my license. I have my side business, which we'll talk about another time, and I'm flipping comics on eBay. We're doing like 3 shows a week. I have my dog is sick. I take care of my dad. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. And I also just started training again with my boy, my one, I should say my best friend since we were younger, Razor Rob McCullough. And I'm doing that every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday because I'm 47 years old and I don't want high blood pressure and I don't want to have a stroke and die, because a lot of people I went to high school with, junior high with, are actually dying. And it's not either from COVID or from fentanyl. And if it's not from that, it's some kind of stroke or heart attack from high blood pressure, high cholesterol. So
Oh
he's
shit.
getting, and he's on my ass too. He's getting me in shape. He yells at me. I was telling Aaron today, and Aaron's like, "Man, that's good. You have a good friend. You know, he's on your buddy. He really wants me. He cares about me, and I'm really excited about it. I want to take it serious. So I'm just really busy. I'll get back to you. Just hang in there. Don't unfollow me. Don't get mad at me. Don't worry. I know you're there. I'll get back to you. I love you guys. We will do a giveaway, and then once we get to 900, we'll do another small giveaway. But then once we get to monetary to 1,000, we're gonna do a big one. It's going to be a big one. And me and Aaron will put our heads together and we'll go from there. So thank you guys. We really appreciate it. This was Buy the Dip number 11. Appreciate the support and positive feedback in the chat. Also, anybody who disagreed with me, I saw in the chat. I appreciate that as well. That's what's great about comics, especially comic speculation, is that we are all in the same boat together. We are all on the same team. We're all one big family. We should not take things so serious. Don't read into things. Don't worry. I don't even care who you are. If you're in our circle or you're in our community, I will have your back no matter what, even if you piss me off. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. From Aaron, Yeezy, and me, we wish you the best. And we'll see you probably either Wednesday on Bryan's show or Friday on the Hot 10. Thank you guys. Take care, everyone.